What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm here to talk today about the NHL hot takes for the 2025-26 season. As you may have noticed, there's a bit of a gap between me uploading this video and my last video on this channel, but to be honest, I had a video uploaded about Sidney Crosby and I had to take it down due to a copyright strike, so I'm sorry about that, but we're back now. The upcoming NHL season should be a lot of fun, with a lot of big players on the move and a lot of storylines to talk about. Today I have 5 hot takes for you that are progressively hotter, and hopefully we can hit on at least one of these to make sure it's interesting for the season, something to keep an eye on at least. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about Tage Thompson, the center from Buffalo, who I think is going to hit 50 goals this season. And you may be wondering, how is Tage Thompson on that Buffalo team going to hit 50 goals? Well, I have a few reasons for it, and let me explain. For one, Tage Thompson's best season came in 2022-23, where he scored 20 goals on the power play. This past season, he scored only 3 less goals in that season, putting up 44 goals, but only scored 7 on the power play. His power play numbers are clearly down as a result of a pretty bad Buffalo team. There's no guarantee that they get better, but 7 goals compared to 20 is a big drop-off. I think he'll get at least in between that to 13 to 14 range and be able to put more pucks in the net on the power play. Another thing to note that in his 47-goal season in 2022-23, he shot the puck 3.78 times per game. 2024-25, Tage Thompson only shot 3.18 shots per game, although he had a higher shooting percentage. So, an 18% shooting percentage is not necessarily realistic for a player to keep the whole season, but for an elite goal scorer like Thompson, it can happen. And if you end up shooting the puck more than you did this season with that shooting percentage, he can hit 50 goals for sure. Next, we gotta talk about the Vancouver Canucks. I have them making the playoffs this year after a horrific season last year. A lot of you may be thinking, how could Vancouver make the playoffs after such a terrible year last year? Well, there's a lot of reasons for it. For one, the health of Quinn Hughes is so very essential to this team. Quinn Hughes is an annual Norris candidate, and if he can stay healthy for a full season for the Canucks, he's one of the best defensemen in the league, and he really carries that offense and that power play so much to the point where they really need him if they want to make the playoffs this year. But he's not all. There's a couple more factors that need to be assessed for the Canucks to make the playoffs, and the number one is Elias Pettersson. Wait, not that one. The other Elias Pettersson had a very down year last year, especially for his standards. After getting a 100-point season just 2 years ago, him putting up just 60-ish points is just not good enough for a top-line center making $11 plus $12 million. At his best, Elias Pettersson is an elite two-way centerman who can put up a lot of points while playing a solid defensive game as well. He can make all the difference for Vancouver Canucks if he can make the right plays this year. And the wildcard pick for this team is Philip Hedl, a player who was unable to really stay healthy for the team after being acquired for JT Miller last year, in the JT Miller trade. After putting just up 6 points in 15 games for the Canucks as being a minus 11, and then obviously he got hurt. With Miller leaving, Philip Hedl's going to have to carry a lot of the load for the Canucks, and honestly he has to put up about a 50-point season, I think, for them to make a playoff push. Now, before I say this next one, I have to remind you guys that it's a hot takes video, and anything can happen. This is why I'm saying that the Washington Capitals are either going to make the playoffs as a 3rd seed or a wild card. Let me explain. After dominating their division and putting up 111 points that season after the Hurricanes came second with just 99 points, why would the Capitals fall off so hard? The Capitals had something to fight for in the regular season last year for Alex Ovechkin's 895th goal. Obviously that happened, and it was a great moment for all of hockey. I think it would be pretty ridiculous to say that's all they were playing for, but what I will say is that it gave them an extra boost and extra motivation on the ice, especially if they got closer to that goal and kept winning games. Some players completely shattered their previous career highs this last season, an example being Dylan Strome, becoming a point-per-game player in this season, putting up 82 points in 82 games. Something he's not even really come that close to before, his previous high being 67 points. And then, of course, there was the play of Alex Ovechkin, putting up 44 goals in just 65 games after getting his serious injury. Ovechkin shot pretty close to 20%, and I honestly do believe that although he's an elite scorer and he knows how to score the puck, this will not happen again next season. If I'm wrong, clip me, tell me the truth, but it is what it is. I'm predicting it, and we're going to see what happens. The Capitals are still an amazing team, though. They have such good depth, such good players on the offense, defense, and solid goaltending. They're going to be a playoff team. With that being said, they won't win a division this year, and that's my opinion. Funny enough, this leads us to our next hot take because it relates to the Metropolitan Division. And that's because I say that the New Jersey Devils are going to win the Metropolitan Division. Does this seem a bit unrealistic? Maybe, considering the New Jersey Devils had 20 less points than the Capitals last year. But let me explain. The Devils made a couple good moves in the offseason, the biggest one acquiring Connor Brown from the Edmonton Oilers, well, from free agency. But the point being, he is a great depth forward for the team, something they've really lacked sometimes. Once again, it is similar to Vancouver, though, because it's one of the Hughes brothers making all the difference for the New Jersey Devils. Jack Hughes and his health is the most important part of the New Jersey Devils season. He is number 1 player in that team. He's one of the best centermen in the league, and he is the reason that they can make the playoffs, let alone be the 1st seed in the Metropolitan Division. Not to mention they have some amazing sidekicks for Hughes, including Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier, Nico Hischier, the captain, players like Dawson Mercer, who are due for a complete breakout season. Mercer's actually a good example of a player that could be a really, really important player for New Jersey Devils as a depth forward, maybe playing second or third line minutes as a center or a right winger. So if he scores 20, 30 goals, or maybe putting up 50 or 60 points, that could be a huge asset to this team. Not to mention they're getting pretty solid goaltending the past few seasons, especially Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen this past season have been a great combination for them. Now on to the last hot take, and actually my favorite one of them all. We're talking about Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov is going to be your Hart winner in 2025-26. Or will he be? Well, let's talk about why Kirill Kaprizov has a genuine case at the Hart Trophy for the next season. Last season, Kaprizov got injured and he missed half the season. However, in those 41 games, he put up 56 points, including 25 goals, on pace for 50 goals, 112 points. Pretty absurd numbers. Not to mention that in a hard-fought series for the Minnesota Wild, he put up 9 points in 6 games, and almost gave him a chance to win the series. In fact, in the playoffs, the only players who put up more than his 1.5 points per game were Nathan MacKinnon and Adrian Kempe. Very impressive. But this is the real reason as to why Kaprizov can win the MVP for the next year. The fact that he is a one-man show, in part, on the Minnesota Wild. That's not being said to discredit the likes of Matthew Boldy, Matt Zuccarello, even Joel Eriksson-Ek, and a very good defensive core they have with Brock Faber and more. What it is meant to say is how much of the offensive load he carries on his back for this team. Kaprizov last year, in the games he played, put up 1.36 points per game. The next highest was Matthew Boldy, put less a point per game, putting up 0.9 points per game. That's almost half a point per game difference from Kaprizov to the next best player on his team. Now, it's a similar situation with David Pastrnak in Boston, but he won't win it because Boston Bruins are not going to be a playoff team next year. But here's the thing. The Minnesota Wild are a solidly built team. They have good goaltending, they have a great defensive core, and they have decent offense. But among that decent offense is one of the best forwards in the league in Kirill Kaprizov. He was on pace for his best season of his career before getting injured this year. So what's to stop him having an even better year next year? And if he beats last year, his projected stats at least, that's over 112 points. That's over 50 goals. Those are heart-winning numbers if he can win enough games, get his team in a good playoff position, and make the most of his amazing season. So those are my 5 hot takes for the next upcoming NHL season. It's honestly one of the most exciting seasons I think we've seen in a long time. There's so many storylines to follow. I'm really excited to watch. I hope you guys are too. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.